If you love classic cars, then Donald loves you. Hi, I'm Donald Osborne, CEO of Audrain, and we're here backstage at the Audrain Automobile Museum in the place where we store the collections cars as well as some of the cars of collectors who have generously loaned them for exhibition at the museum. We're here to tell the first part of a story of automotive lighting. I think it's a really interesting story because automotive lighting developed at the same pace and at the same rate as the automobile itself developed, and it's a fascinating story to tell. I'm here next to a 1901 Winton, the first gasoline-powered car built in America, and a fascinating story in and of itself. But what we're here to talk about are lights. These headlights on the Winton look like carriage lights, and that's because that's exactly what they are. They're oil or kerosene-fueled lights, just as you would see on the sides of carriages, and these lights were not there to illuminate the way on the road, but rather to let people know that a vehicle was there. So if you bumped into it in a dark place, or just as an alert that it was coming. Of course, people rarely used these vehicles at night. Indeed, in cities where they often used horseless carriages, there were street lights, gas street lights. So again, this was just to let people know that you were there. It's quite interesting. These lights were made by a company called Gray and Davis in Massachusetts, and they were a very big provider of lights to the early car industry. And indeed, they went through the development of the headlight, as we will see going forward. This is a fascinating glimpse as to how this all started on this 1901 Winton. Although the electric bulb was used for automotive headlights for the first time in 1908, this 1910 American underslung toy tonneau still uses the most common form of lighting used at that point, the acetylene-powered gas headlight. And it provided a great deal more illumination than the previous oil headlights or kerosene headlights had, and also had the benefit of not being bothered by the jostling of the very rough roads of the time. All the cars, of course, were required to carry a tank, usually mounted on the running board, of acetylene gas that would feed the lights, and of course they had to be hand lit. There was no way to light them from inside the car. Nonetheless, they provided a level of illumination heretofore unimagined in a moving vehicle. You still see this used in the 1911 Fiat Tipo 6 behind me as well. And again, you also see for the first time automotive manufacturers and lighting manufacturers, these lights were also manufactured by Gray and Davis, as the ones on the Winton, using for the first time lens treatments to try to amplify the light going out. On the Fiat, you see a very interesting convex lens to spread the light as much as possible. Again, people were looking for unusual advances to get the light further out and to focus it better for the driver as he used the car at night. This 1912 Packard Model 30 still has acetylene headlights, and you'll note that now Packard has actually marked these headlights of their own. Whether Packard actually manufactured this headlight or had it manufactured for them, the headlight is now becoming an integral part of the car. It's no longer just an accessory that you buy and install. Now, one of the very interesting things about this is that, of course, all inventors at this point were patenting everything, and although the electric light had already come to the car, this is actually a patented 1908 acetylene headlight. So the pace of change is growing very quickly, but few people would know how quickly it would actually come. By 1916, and the arrival of this Packard Model 125 Twin 6 Roadster, the electric light has come to Packard. And these are very interesting lights indeed, because as patented by the Macbeth Company, they begin to show some very interesting innovations in lens design. So you see that there are these horizontal lines which are actually beveled, and they provide some sort of a Fresnel effect, and the top of the lens, you'll notice, is slanted forward and painted a dark color so as to not dazzle the oncoming driver when the headlights were on. They began to think about what the implications of actually projecting light onto the road might be, and this is an example of some of the imaginative thinking that was going on at that time. So, with the coming of the electric light, we come to the end of the first part of our tale of Shining Bright, the history of automotive lighting, and the beginning of the next. Hi, it's Donald Osborne with the answer to the Audrain Auto Museum Fun Fast Fact Quiz, screws. The first car to use Phillips screws was the 1936 Cadillac. And did you know that the American Screw Company of Providence, Rhode Island held the patent for the Phillips screw? Yet another Rhode Island story, coming to you from the Audrain Auto Museum in Newport, Rhode Island. Thanks for watching. And we'd like to give a special shout out to Marcus Cato Jr., who posted the correct answer to this question in the comments section in our previous video. Congrats, Marcus. And if you get in touch with us at info@audrainautomuseum.org, we'll send you an Audrain Auto Museum cap. Thanks. If you like these videos, let your friends know. Subscribe, comment, share.